Leveraging low view content in the online coaching and info product space hasn't been easier than it is in 2025. As you can see on my YouTube channel, as of recording this video, I have 79 subscribers. And as you can see, I don't really get that many views. Some videos only get like 6 views. And in the high end, it's around 100. However, I am still signing high ticket clients on demand. And on top of that, one of my clients, Pepeng, he only has 80 subscribers as well. And his videos are doing 5, 8, 20 views. And he still closed a $3,000 deal at only 16 years old because he's leveraging low view content. Now, there are a lot of common misconceptions when it comes to low view content in the online coaching space, right? Because what people think is that you need a massive audience to convert and to actually make money with your content. However, a massive audience might actually hinder your ability to scale, especially since you'll have to make sure the audience you do have is actually qualified. It is much easier, no, it's quite literally much harder to sell to the masses than it is to sell to one specific ICP, to one specific ideal client profile. Because you don't need everyone to watch. You just need the right person to watch. You don't need a massive audience. You just need the right ICP to consume your content. And the next thing is people think that content isn't scalable. However, content is the most scalable thing there is, especially in 2025. And once you put something out there, it will generate you qualified traffic and sales forever. And the next misconception that a lot of people have is that content is hard and that it takes a lot of time. However, content is one of the easiest things in your business. All you need is a proper system to batch ahead so you can focus on generating results. So, for example, if you just spend one entire day, you and in that day you spend time creating seven video ideas, seven thumbnails, you record 7 pieces of content, and if you don't leverage highly edited content, you can just upload that piece of content right there. You have 7 videos for the whole entire week. You're posting one piece of content every single day, and all you had to do was just spend one day of your week focusing on content. It is really that simple. It is not that hard. You just need the right ecosystem, the right system to make that happen. And I'm going to teach that to you in today's video. So, the next misconception that people have is that content shouldn't be a priority. However, we're living in a trust economy in 2025, and there is nothing more valuable than a brand that marks you as an authority in the space and where you can leverage social proof and valuable content to build trust with your viewers. So you can generate that trust from your viewers so you can inevitably sell to those viewers and you're gonna make money. Now, this is what most coaches do. And this is probably what you've been doing as well. You have no real nurturing content. You have no simple ecosystem. You have no leverage metrics to track. You're probably not even tracking in the first place. And because of that, you have a lack of qualified leads and a lack of appointments. Because if you don't have nurturing content, then you're not going to attract the right ICP that you want. And if you're not going to attract the right ICP, then you're not going to be able to sell to those people. Now, if you have no simple ecosystem, it is going to take forever for you to even produce a piece of content, right? And if you have no leverage metrics to track, how can you improve? Because improvement is done when you have the right amount of feedback in order to improve. And if you need feedback, you need to track. And a lack of qualified leads and appointments, then that just sucks because if you don't have leads, if you don't have appointments, you're not going to make any money, right? So, this is really what happens because people think that content isn't working, content just sucks, things like that. And because of that, they get no clients from content. And because of that, they quit way too early. Because if you take a look at someone, the biggest YouTube channel on the entire platform, Mr. Beast, he uploaded for years and he got maybe 50 views, 100 views at most. But now, if you look at him, because he stayed consistent, he he focused on improving his content every single time, and he just leveraged everything he could leverage, and he stayed consistent. Now he's at over 400 million subscribers. He's a multi-millionaire, and it is all because he didn't quit on content. But if you quit so early, you're never going to be able to see the success that you want with your content. Now, here we have a simplified acquisition YouTube ecosystem. This is the exact ecosystem that me and my clients are using to leverage low view content. First of all, we have very nurturing content for ICP. This solves problems and shows solutions. Exactly the piece of content that you're looking at right now. On top of that, we have a content ecosystem to generate traffic and convert. Then we only track leverage metrics. So we only track the proper metric that we need to track. And from that, we are converting a qualifying audience. So as you can see, this is exactly what you need in order to leverage content. In order to leverage content, right? So this is the exact process. This is what I like to call a system, a client acquisition system, right? So we have the inputs of a system, we have the processes of a system, we have the outputs of a system, and then we have the feedback of the system. Now the inputs in this case for content are strangers in your niche, so people in your niche. And now we have the processes, and the processes in this case is the YouTube ecosystem. And the outputs in this case is a booked appointment. And the feedback simply comes in the form of metrics, right? So this is how it works. We have a stranger in your niche, and the process is an attractive thumbnail and an attractive title. From that, the output is a viewer. And now we simply track this by tracking the metrics that could contribute to someone becoming a viewer. So, for example, how many views you get, the general click-through rate. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, and that is how you can take someone from a stranger in your niche to a viewer. Now, the last output becomes an input because we need to keep going with the system. So the input is a viewer. The process is the nurturing content. And the output is an interested lead. And the feedback again comes in the form of leverage metrics, which in this case is average viewed view duration and metrics like that. Now from that, the output becomes the input, the interested lead. The process is a CTA and IG funnel, so they can eventually become a booked appointment. And that is the whole system, and of course we track that in the way of how many people follow us on Instagram, how many conversations we're having, how many appointments we're scheduling, things like that. And it really is this simple. Now this is what happens. You're staying really consistent with your content. You're following the content ecosystem. Your content converts strangers into clients, and you're making more money through low video YouTube videos. And this is exactly how we make thousands of dollars by leveraging low view content. Now, if you want the exact system, even though this is pretty much a whole system, but if you want more action, If you want me to personally help you scale your business, leverage this exact content ecosystem, then follow my Instagram and DM me the word system. And if you have any question, just follow my Instagram again and not follow, DM me the word system because I will answer any questions you have. All right. So that is everything. I'll see you in the next one and have a good one.